YouTube, what is going on? Back on my latest video, back in the installment of Speculation Saturday. So I have a cool one for you guys today. I have 3 pops I'm going to talk about that you might want to potentially add to your collection before they become potential grails in the future. So let's get right into it and see what I got. Here we go.
Listen, been in the game for a minute, clocking in because it's time to get down to business. Stunting is a habit, on me I'm good at it. Asking around town, I'm known as the Popsavage.
Alright guys, before we get into this video, please smash that like button down below. Let me know you guys are enjoying these videos, and as always, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button down below as well for your updates on my most recent content, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted as soon as I post a new video. So if it's your first time tuning into the segment, I like to try to do every Saturday, talk about the financial side of Funko Pops, whether there's different topics I find interesting or pops I think are going to go up in value, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, there has been a lot of comments from my last video about this pop I'm going to talk about first and why people think it's going to be a potential grail. And I'm going to kind of talk about it, give you my thoughts, because a lot of people were asking me this question, and see where it lands for you guys, and you decide it's a pop you want to add to your collection, so be it. So that pop in question is Wolverine. So obviously it's not a secret at this point, we all have seen the new Deadpool trailer. If you have not, spoiler alert, Wolverine will be showing up in the new Deadpool 3 movie. So a lot of you guys asked me how I feel about Wolverine pops moving forward. When I talk about pops in this segment, what I like to try to talk about is pops I think that are now either undervalued or cheaper than I think they will be in the future. And a lot of that comes down to supply and demand. The reason why I didn't suggest the Wolverine pop last week, and I did know about the announcement, and you know, we all knew that Wolverine was going to come at some point anyways, was because there's so much out there available for Wolverine. At this point in the Funko collecting community, hobby, people don't tend to spend a lot of money. I've asked several times as far as, you know, how much would you spend the most for your pop? And if you guys want to put in the comment section below what that number would be for you, I'd be interested to hear. But most times I ask it, the most people want to ever spend on a pop is about 50 bucks. With that being the case, and there being, I think, I checked earlier, it's like 15, 20 Wolverines available. I don't think there's many people who, now that we have a Wolverine announcement, are going to have a lack of options to put their money to use and have a Wolverine pop. There's so many different options. You know, this is the first one that came out. This one's still available. It's only going for about like 17 bucks. So if you just want to have one of the first Wolverines, it's still available to you. There's also metallic ones. There's ones from the XMen movie. There's different color Wolverines, and there's a comic book Wolverine that came out. There's so many options of Wolverine, and Logan pops as well, that I don't know exactly where people are going to put their money into. And even if it gets to the point that people all zone in on one, once it hits that like $50 mark, I don't think people are going to continuously buy that exact Wolverine pop. So I just think there's too many options. That's why you don't ever hear me suggest pops like of main characters of a show, like, you know, like All Might or Deku for My Hero Academia, Naruto for Naruto, Goku for Dragon Ball Z, you know, main characters of shows. They're really hard to suggest because there's just so much made of them, especially with Marvel characters. Like, you'll never hear me suggest probably a Superman or Batman pop. You know, that may change, but mainly because there's so much out there of that specific character and people have options. I will still say, if there was any single Wolverine pop that you could buy, there is a version of this pop. It's numbered 5. The Marvel Universe is also a bobblehead. It says Marvel bobblehead under there instead of just Wolverine in big letters. And it also has a brown costume. I'll put a picture right here if I can find it. But that one is also from, I think, the same year this one was produced, 2011, I believe. That one is vaulted, and it is about like $100 and $150 pop. If we ever get to the point in the Funko collecting space, which I believe we will, where the first version of the character becomes valuable, I think that one will be more expensive because it's like the rookie card and like the best variant of that character being Wolverine. That one might have some value. I know it's a lot more money than people want to spend typically per pop, 150 bucks. But if we ever get like a big collector community in there where we're actually trying to get the rarest, most exclusive variants, which that's what I try to focus more on this segment and what I like to try to collect, I think that one may have some potential in the future because it is the first and most rare. The other ones, like the metallic one, there's like other ones, like there's a grayscale one that's expensive. I don't know if people are going to care about those in the future, but the first pop I think is going to at least be relevant for anybody that's coming in. So that's my thoughts on Wolverine in general. Obviously there's going to be a lot more people buying Wolverine pops, but as far as moving the needle, as far as making it more expensive, I just don't see that currently, and people picking a specific one that's going to make it worth putting your money into. But if you're a collector of Wolverine, like obviously, you know, I love the XMen, buy the one you like, and you know, just get the one that you think like is the best one, best looking mold for your money. And that's my thoughts in general on Wolverine. Alright guys, but there is an XMen pop I think you guys should be picking up and adding to your collection. It's not vaulted yet, but obviously it will be at some point, and that is Bishop. So I don't have this pop, and it's kind of crazy that I don't, because Bishop's one of my favorite characters from X-Men. As you guys know, when it comes down to Marvel, X-Men is king for me. That's the only really Marvel pops I tend to buy. Bishop is going to be appearing in the MCU in a new show coming soon. So I think Bishop's going to start catching on, be one of the first X-Men introduced into the MCU, and it's going to get his day in the sun, basically. You know, it's a popular character in the 90s, but I think now, being in the MCU, being one of the first, I think he's going to become more of a household name than he is already. Now, this is a newer pop, so it's going to be pretty affordable to get. I think it's a Walgreens exclusive, and it's only going for close to retail at this point, maybe a little bit higher. So definitely one to track down. Like I said, it's not vaulted yet, so they may make more, but it's still a store exclusive. Walgreens is typically known for having damaged pops, so there's going to be some condition issues as well with the stuff out there. So if you can find a good condition one, I think in the future this pop's going to be incredibly valuable, or at least valuable, I should say, because it's such a popular character from the 90s. I think more people are going to be introduced to this character, and I do feel like his introduction into the MCU is going to be a popular one. People are going to like the character. So sometimes, you know, when I talk about in this segment, it's not a pop you're going to buy right now, and it's going to be expensive the next day. It's something that you might want to think about adding to your collection now, because you may forget, and then by the time you forget and remember it again, it's you know, a grail. So definitely pop I would add to your list, and make sure you add it before it's too late. Alright guys, and the last pop is a pop I've talked about in the past, and it kind of coincides with what we're talking about today as far as you know, getting the pop while it's still cheap. And you know, definitely it's the first version of the pop, so it's definitely one you want to have in your collection just in case this character spikes and takes off like I think it will, and that is Shuri. So I do have this pop, but it's in storage. I didn't feel like looking for it, but if you're interested in adding this pop to your collection, there is a link in the description box below where you can buy pops like this and any other pops you'd like to add to your collection via Whatnot. You'll get $15 off your first order, and definitely a cheap way to get some money off of your Funko collecting hobby and help support the channel as well. But Shuri is obviously going to be, and it's been confirmed now, as the new Black Panther. I talked about this maybe a year or two ago, that this was going to be the next logical step, because this is what happens in the comic books, and you know, anybody who reads the comic books saw this from a mile away. But now there was some controversy about if she was going to take it over or not, just because of the actress and, you know, some of the things she did that are outside of, you know, the movie. But it looks like she signed on for, I think, a 12 contract appearance, so a 12 appearance contract. So she's going to be Black Panther for a while. I don't know if it's going to be in movies or TV shows or whatever it may be, but she's going to pick up the mantle and going to be the Black Panther from here on out. Now the version I'm showing here is going to be the first version of Shuri. It's going to be the most desirable one in the future. Like I said, we're thinking about like pops the same way I'm thinking about sports cards or comic books, where there's the first appearance, the rookie card of the character. There are, I think, what, 4 or 5 Shuri pops that have been announced within the last 30 days. Those obviously are going to kind of dilute the market a little bit. But like I said, with the Wolverine, you're going to want the first one. I don't see them making as many Shuri pops as they are making Wolverine pops. And eventually, when the money all flows into people who are going to collect Shuri, I think it's going to land with this one being the first. There's a gold one that came out around the same time as well, if you're into that kind of thing. I'm not, but that one's also pretty old. But the regular one, the first one, is definitely the one you want to get. I think Shuri's going to be a popular character just because the Black Panther movie franchise seems to be very popular. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. And there's also some shows coming out with it as well that's going to make the character and the franchise more popular in general. So definitely add that Shuri pop into your collection before it's too late. So that's all I have for you guys today, just those 3 pops. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below if you have these pops in your collection, or what you think about it in general. And as always, I like to hear your comments. That's why we talked about the Wolverine pop today. If there's anything you guys wanted me to talk about and hear my thoughts on if it's a good pop as far as an investment purpose, or if it's going to be a future grail, drop down in the comment section below. As always, if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. Check me out on my second channel at Savage Breaks, where I do Pokemon, sport cards, and comic books, and also my Instagram at ThePopSavage, so you can stay connected there as well. Thanks again for watching, guys. Till next time, see you later.